Now, the ANC in Parliament says it is not worried about the upcoming no-confidence motion in President Cyril Ramaphosa. The motion was brought by the African Transformation Movement and is due to be debated Thursday. Now, the no-confidence motion also deals with the CR17 presidential campaign funding. Now, to discuss this, we're joined via Skype by leadership expert Dr. Mazwe Majola. Mazwe, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. I think let's start there. Depending on where your political inclination lies, it's a low light or a highlight for the president, and a lot of people saying it's quite an embarrassment. He faces his first vote of no confidence, which has become the norm in the previous administration under President Jacob Zuma.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Indeed, the ANC must be concerned. It is a governing party, and President Ramaphosa must be concerned that he has been brought into Parliament for a motion of no confidence. Yes, this motion has a little chance to succeed, but in terms of leadership, President Ramaphosa, this should be a wake-up call that he needs to up his game. He needs to start leading. He needs to take charge. He needs to be more decisive and more assertive. Because, of course, yes, this will go to the annals of Parliament, that there was a time when there was a motion of no confidence against him as a president. So, yes, in terms of majority, they will win, but in terms of impact, they must be very concerned about this motion.
Look, I mean, we know that some opposition parties, has been reported, for example, the DA are not taking part in this vote, saying that it's factionalism within two parties of the ruling party, calling the ATM the other faction of the same party. But the question I want to ask you is, the question then becomes leadership. You're a leadership expert. The leadership within the ruling party. We saw President Jacob Zuma go, I think, no less than 3 votes of no confidence under his tenure. President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to have his first one now. The question then comes in leadership at Luthuli House, if I can call it that. Is it called into question when their leaders are being dragged in front of Parliament by, or is it just frivolous, if I can call it that, on the other hand, of opposition parties just trying to embarrass them?
Well, indeed, it's just a publicity stunt on one hand for ATM to do this. It's just a political game. But for ANC, must, as I said earlier on, ANC must be concerned. If you're a leader and you are called into question, and you are called into question in terms of your leadership acumen, you've got to be very concerned as a leader. Yes, there is no perfect leader. There is no infallible leader under the sun. Leaders are human beings. They will always err. They will do right. They will do wrong. But people must be happy about you. You know, you are leading a country here, so people have got to be happy that we are doing well. Indeed, for ANC must be very, very concerned, more especially going to the local election or local government election next year.
Let's talk about, in general now, leadership as a whole. I mean, you're a leadership expert. Speak to us. I mean, I understand you saying that anybody must be concerned if you're at the top of an organization, any organization for that matter, and your subordinates come out and say they've got no, respect by virtue of them having to call you out, and they've got no confidence in their leadership as it were. Leaders in general, what are the hallmarks of staving away such calls of no confidence?
I didn't get your question clearly there, but I'll just say that if you're a leader, you've got to be someone who is respected, to someone who's admired, someone who inspire confidence into people. People say, this leader thinks about us, because leadership without works is dead. Leadership is about action. Leadership is about legacy. What did you leave behind during your time? So it's very important for Ramaphosa that during his term, he must show people that he is leading and he is for them as South Africans, because he's the leader of the country first, and he's the leader of the organization ANC again. So it's very important for him to balance this, because again it's always you can see that it's always problematic in terms of who comes first. Is the party comes first, or is the country that comes first for him? He, as a person, he is a very consultative person. He's a negotiator. He is a democratic leader. He likes to take time to talk to people. But unfortunately, in leadership, you cannot consult ad infinitum. There comes a time when you must take charge. You must consult, get inputs and contributions for different stakeholders and from different people, and you must make a decision as a leader, because you are the one who is leading, and that is what is required from him.
Apologies for that, Dr. Mazwe. I think our line is breaking a little bit, but we'll try and continue. Maybe two more questions. Now, with regards to President Cyril Ramaphosa, a lot of people said, well, his handling of COVID-19 and the lockdown, that was fairly good. He was communicative. He came through. He had addressed the nation occasionally, more often than most countries would have received, addressing from their leaders. But when things started getting a bit tougher, maybe that communication kind of minimized. But overall, what is the analysis as a leadership expert yourself? Did he come above the COVID-19 pandemic? Was he strong enough as a leader in showing that leadership quality as President of the Republic? I think we've lost Dr. Mazwe Majola there. Dr. Mazwe, are you still with us? I think that line...
Yeah, I'm still with you, sir.
Yeah, the line is fairly bad, Dr. Mazwe. I'm going to try one more time. If you can hear me, please do answer. I was just saying President Cyril Ramaphosa was a great leader, in particular at the top of at the beginning of COVID, quite, authoritative. He came through, he addressed the nation as much as possible. A lot of people saying, well, maybe he did do well with regards to leading the country during the pandemic. What are you saying as a leadership expert? What are the numbers saying on your side?
Yeah, no, during the lockdown, you definitely, he exercised very good leadership there. He called the lockdown. You saw how he introduced some measures with Minister Mkhize. So there he did so well. But sooner he realized that leadership is not ephemeral. Leadership, it's a journey. It takes time. It's not a short-lived thing that you do something and then it's true. So as time went on, and then you could see that he battled. Of course, yes, he was disappointed by some of the people within his party and then within his government as far as corruption is concerned. But also there he did take some swift decisions. So I think, really kudos for him and credit to him in as far as COVID-19 phase. He tried his utmost best, because it's not an easy thing to lead during crisis and during change or during uncertainty.
Dr. Mazwe Majola, leadership expert, thank you indeed for joining us. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cut it there. We do have problems with our line between each other, but thank you very much for the conversation, quite insightful.